Hello everyone and welcome to a new first taste for the channel where today we're going to be checking out Magicraft. Now what is Magicraft, I hear you ask? Well, this is the unholy spawn of a equally or perhaps even more unholy union between Binding of Aavak and Noita. Now, if you don't know what Binding of Aavak is, well, first and foremost, allow me to extend a hand of friendship to you and welcome you to Earth. I hope you're going to enjoy your stay. If you don't know what Noita is, and yes, I'm not going to describe what Aavak is, you should already know. But Noita is a little bit more niche. It is the easiest way of describing Noita is a platform action RPG roguelite, where the primary mechanic for your main attack is wizard spells, but you fire them from a wand, and also you accrue wizard spells in a very roguelike procedural way, and you slot them into wands, which might have varying amounts of space in the wand to create very, very bizarre synergies of these spells. Quite a lot of them interact in wildly unpredictable ways, and it can result in a very, very fun and hectic experience. Magicraft has taken the best bits of both of these games and merged them in Saw-like blender scene. It was very gory. I'm not going to describe it. However, the end result is insidiously enjoyable. Now, having bigged the game up enough, I think we're going to jump in and I can actually show you a little bit about this game. Now, as usual, if by the end of the video you enjoyed what you saw and you want to see more, do let me know, and again, most importantly, let St. Algorithmus know with those beautiful buttons down below. Now, this is my current, I'm just going to test the game. Oh, no, the sun has come up. How did that happen? Kind of tutorial, but we're going to jump into an empty slot so you get a little bit of the story setting out. This game, released on the 2nd of November, is still very much in early access, and it is developed by Wave Games. Let's go ahead and just jump in. We're not going to skip the tutorial. Nope. This way you get a bit of the story. Be careful. The boss is about to use Ultimate. That's a spell or skill called Ultimate. MT, keep attacking, blah, 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 blah. Okay, look, it's an MMO. And we are apparently the carry of the entire team. As, you know, I'm sure many of you have experienced in the past, and for me, this would be a completely alien concept. The night has just begun, but first, nature calls. Well, that's fair. I have noticed that this is very much a game with some lost in translation moments. I believe the game's original language is Chinese, well, Mandarin. Don't quote me on that, however, but the result has been very interesting. Certainly there's been a very big change between the demo and the release. They've definitely done a bit of localization. Really, I continued peeing on the ground. That is a detail I didn't notice before, but okay. Right, where in the world am I? Well, we're definitely not in Kansas at the very least. Is this a walking stick? Really? Have you never played A Link to the Past, my lord? Points if you recognize that symbol. Ah! What happened? I saw something white run over here. After 100 years, a hero has finally arrived. Ah! Why can I hear someone talking to me in my head? Little Pipsqueak, are you the hero? You look so weak and helpless. I can't sense any magic power in you. Wait a minute, who are you? Why are you inside me? Wow, that is an interesting way to say it. It doesn't matter who I am, but you, my friend, you are the chosen hero. I'm the chosen one? So I'm the protagonist? Well, I have a harem. A harem? What's that? Forget it. Now that I'm the protagonist, I command you to send me home. Gonna do some dungeon runs. Hero, you're in a world invaded by ancient gods. Even time and space have been disrupted, which might be why you've come here. It won't be easy for you to return to your own world, but you may be able to find a way back if you defeat the ancient gods. I have nothing to worry about since I'm the protagonist. Let's go! I mean, Tell me you wouldn't, this literally wouldn't be your reaction if you ended up going to the bathroom late one night, woke up in a mystical forest, and then someone started talking to you from inside your head and said you were the hero. Try and tell me with a straight face that you wouldn't immediately be like, so basically I'm the main character. I have finally isekai'd. Yes, you know you would. So I don't know why we're all sitting here chuckling that this guy's doing exactly what we would do. I can't believe it. That young man pulled out the magic wand. That story is just legend. What do you mean? Am I meant to say sigh? That? Oh, you may have actually said sigh. Oh. You probably say lol as well. But our teacher said, I won't believe that nonsense about a hero unless he manages to make it back alive. Know what I know about the game? Let's just say the odds are not with us. Alright, so we can shoot with left click. It's going to slowly introduce all of the game mechanics. Levitation potion. Gain levitation until you enter the next door. So, much like Aavak, each room is kind of its own space, and you've got to defeat the enemies before you progress on to the next room. However, unlike Aavak, there isn't really a map. It is literally just a sequence of rooms. You sometimes have a choice of which door to go through, more like Hades than Aavak, actually, now that I think about it. And in fact, that is a very, very good comparison. Right, well, let's go ahead and use levitation. Whomp. There we go. Right, let's go ahead. I mean, I'm fairly certain you can see why I leapt to the comparison of Aavak over Hades, but the more I think about it, the more Hades is probably a better comparison. Venomous Crystal. Apply 1 stack of poison to the hit target for 3 seconds, up to 50 stacks. Now we can toggle our backpack, and this is where Noita comes into it. We have a magic wand, and through meta progression, we may eventually have many magic wands, and much more backpack space, and much more space in our wands for spells. Different wands have different properties and different spaces for their spells, so on and so forth. If you've played Noita, you will very quickly see the comparisons here. There we go. This is used to be a... this used to be a garden where mages did spiritual training. Sorry, I'm just stumbling over my words. My cat is distracting me out of the corner of my eye. And now all that's left are these ruins and those crazy monsters. I hope I don't go crazy. I mean, we all hope that, but how would we know, really? The crystals the monsters dropped are really useful. You might be able to enhance your pitiful magic power if you collect them. This is the meta currency. That sounds a little strange, but okay, we'll go with that. Yoink, there we are. Now, just to cover this again, every wand, other than having different amounts of spaces, they can also have different types of spaces in the wand, usually have some sort of stats that are linked to the wand. Although we don't see it yet, we do have a mana bar, but that is really only showing us the mana bar of the wand we are currently using. This one has a mana pool of 50, regens 10 a second, fire interval is 0.15 seconds, and cooldown is 0.5 seconds. Now, lots of things can be destroyed in the game, as you can see, moving around here. Some... prop objects can be destroyed. Some of them go through various ways of being destroyed, and some things can only be destroyed by certain things. That stump there can't be destroyed by my magic bullet because it flies over the top of it. However, an AoE spell would absolutely be able to do that. So you've got different spells for different utility even outside of killing monsters. Also, some of these things do drop stuff occasionally, which is why I'm going to the effort of destroying them all. But for the sake of the video, I won't be too fastidious about grasses because the drop rate on those seem to be very small, if at all. Let's take you out. There we go. Pop all of these before you start shooting back. And gradually moving forward, we will fight stronger enemies with better attack patterns, so on and so forth. Ahem. Yes? Although monsters lurk in every corner of the world, there are also countless treasures left by our ancestors. The shiny object over there is one of them, and it can greatly enhance your abilities. Give it a try. I hope I can get an SSR. You and your SSRs. Let's pop that. There we go. This is probably the most familiar you're going to be to Aavak, in that every time you pick up these relics, these are specifically relics versus spells, you're going to change the appearance of your hero based on the relic we grab. We can grab the Seed of Greed, absorbs all HP recovery items, and fully grows after absorbing 50 points and increases max HP by 35. That's actually a really good exchange. It doesn't sound it, but it is really good. The Devil Mask, all damage, crit rate plus 15%. Bloodlust Eye, 20% chance to restore 1 HP whenever an enemy is killed. These two in combination would be great, but since I can only take one, I'm going to take the Devil Mask. And there we go. We're now wearing a mask. There we are. Now we get a choice. This is where the Hades comparison comes in. We can either go for somewhere that will upgrade our max HP after we defeat the monsters in the room, or someone that will give us more spells. Right now, more spells is much more useful for me. Let's go ahead and take these out. Now that suspicious-looking yellow puddle on the floor is not, first and foremost, what you think. It is, however, something that will slow us down. Doesn't do any poison damage, which is very nice. But as you can see, our speed is greatly diminished there. There we go. I'll grab all of those things and see what magic spells we get. We get spell forced cooling, which reduces the cooldown, which currently is 0.5. If we swap that out, there we go. It's now 0.35, which is a little bit better, but we're only firing 2 at a time. Or lasers. Now, comparing their respective damages, these cost the little kind of blue orb in mana. As you can see, the blue orb down there. This one costs 2. This one costs 3. This does 10 damage. But it does have a limited range, as you can see. Lasers, not as much. Damage is 8. Fire interval is reduced by 0.05 and cooldown by a further 0.1. We could switch over to just having lasers. As you can see, do a little bit less damage, but from basically infinite distance at this point. Now, I am a bigger fan of lasers than I am of these, but you can have both of them if you really want, but they are going to be alternating between the two of them. Is that better or worse? It's entirely up to you. We can go to the shop. I've got 1 gold coin though, so we're not. We're instead going to go to a gold coin room, and I'm going to try and use my lasers on these little ones. Now, unfortunately, lasers do get stopped by more or less anything, including bushes, but we're doing a decent bit of damage here, so that's all well and good. The poison on the ground there, as you can already tell, is in fact something that we kind of want to avoid, but we are poisoning enemies when they explode. Since they are slimes, they explode and leave a poison puddle on the floor. If they've got an elemental effect, they are that elemental effect for all intents and purposes, whether it is a benefit to them or not. This would take me far too long to dig through, so I'm just going to go for the bushes. 13 coins is still not enough to make a shop a worthwhile visit, so we are going to go this way. Now, the thing about spiders that I believe I have learned, I might be making this up, however, is that they are generally cowardly creatures, and if you do any kind of damage to them, they're going to want to avoid you. This egg sac over there is going to hatch more the longer I leave it, so let's get rid of that. There we go. And these spiders are the same as the jumping spiders, except they can shoot lasers out of their eyes, which honestly is a pretty strong evolutionary trait. If you have to evolve into anything, laser eyes is the way to go. There we are, and I think that be everything we want. 28 is now enough for me to go to a shop, and I'd be able to buy 1, maybe 2 things. But we're going to go to the relic room. If you're familiar with these kinds of progressive power creep roguelikes, you really do want relics if you play Risk of Rain. Also, those are dangerous when they close their shell. Some variants actually reflect spells cast on them, and when you've got a spell that is effectively a hit scan, yeah, you don't want it coming back your way. There we go. Let's just keep the poison going on you. It doesn't stack particularly high, but it's not terrible. I wonder if poison is being added. Even though I'm not doing damage, I wonder if the poison effect is being added there. Right, we've got Hunter's Pendant. Grants better sight distance. We've got Berserker's Eye. All damage increased by 1% for every 2 points of HP lost. And spells can penetrate through walls. Now this can be amazing, but it can also make certain builds very, lack a lot of punch. Specifically, any rebound builds. Lasers on rebound are, as you can imagine, pretty strong. If your lasers go through walls, however, say goodbye to the main bonus of having rebound. So I'm going to avoid the cloud-piercing arrow. We're going to go for the Berserker's Eye. Although I don't like banking on losing health, it does make our face look very silly. Right, be careful. That thing over there seems to be a threat. Wow, I'm definitely gonna get an SSR this time. Why do you keep talking about SSR? What is that exactly? It's those particularly rare cards in mobile games. Do you not have a phone? That would also be my response to that, I'm going to be honest. It would just be an ellipsis. Okay, this is an elite, and elites, there are several different types of elites, depending on the area you're in. This one is honestly a kind of annoying one. I've only fought it once before, even in 8 hours, and it was a pest. So, but it's generally a pest in a sort of non-threatening way. It's more annoying than anything else. There we go. Nice and easy, didn't even take any damage. So, Ancient Blood is another meta currency. Again, much like Hades, you've got different sorts of meta currency, and the different ones can be used for different unlocks. You are going to get a lot less Ancient Blood than crystals, and they tend to have more far-reaching effects. Right, Guiding Fable. This one comes with 70 mana pool, regen 10 a second, firing interval at 0.2, cooldown at 0.5, but it comes with the spell Leg Wire. Projectile, damage 3, cast the first shootable spell on the right when this spell ends. Alternatively, I could get the Shaman Dagger. This has got a massive mana pool, but a lower mana regen rate. It's got a half as big a cooldown. MP cost is 70%, but final damage is also 70%. So it's a 6 of one and half a dozen of the other between these. Ghost Snake is a particularly nice spell, though. Releases a Ghost Snake that is 6 meters long. The damage it does is based on the tail, but I really do like Leg Wire. We're going to grab Guiding Fable, and you'll notice that right now, because I only have one wand slot, I have to sacrifice, or rather exchange the wand, but all of my spells are brought down, which is nice. So we're going to just shuffle these around at this point, and now shoot that. When it ends, it fires out a laser, which is actually kind of cool. With a laser, not as great, but it is still a fun little thing. I guess we could do something like this. There we are. But you notice how this is automatically triggering that. You can see what's going to be triggered when a spell is cast. The red ones, the passive ones, they're permanently active. It doesn't matter where in the wand they exist. But as you can see, by doing this, the first one here will fire without poison. This will then fire the Leg Wire and then the Magic Bullet, poisoned, and then this one will just fire the bullet. Now I could move the poison over here, for example, and just to show again, this will just fire a regular version, this one will fire it with poison over there. You can do a lot of different things with that, but right now I think the laser is still my favourite. Let's go ahead. Right, do we want max HP or shop? We've got 29 coins, definitely shop. Now, in here, absolutely destroy all of these if I were you. There we go. Get rid of all of these. There we are. And you notice how Leg Wire is actually rebounding? The laser, not so much. You can then test out your wands a little bit. We've got a wand over here. 70 regen, the Tricolor Scepter, fire interval 1.5. That's a decent one, actually. Scatter is a 3 degrees of scatter. Spells may be died randomly. I'm not really sure how that would help me, but okay. The Self-Aware Grimoire. Summon limit 3. HP 40. Record and use the first shootable spell on the right. The Grimoire has a 50%... has 50% of the summoning wand's MP regen. We've also got Overload Scatter. This is an enhancement, much like the Venomous Crystal. Cooldown is lower. Scatter is massive. It's got 60 degree scatter, but full salvo. So basically, it can fire 5 projectile spells simultaneously. Then we've got the Booby Trap. Damage is 70. Cooldown is plus increases the wand's cooldown by half a second. Crit rate is 50%. Effect radius is 1.5 meters and deals indiscriminate damage. Now that one is an important one. Right now, none of my spells can hurt me, with the exception of ones reflected by certain enemies, which become more the enemy's spell than mine. This, however, if I'm in the range, it's going to damage me. If my summons are in the range, it's going to damage them. This one could be nasty. However, we are absolutely going to take that. I can't really afford this. I will take a key. There are quite a few locked things around. Now, this is where the Leg Wire really comes in handy. because now I can do this further away. I don't have to be anywhere near it. Also, the fact that it's leaving a poison puddle on the ground is ticking up the poison damage on my enemies. So as you can see, the poison ticker is going up. It is still only 3 seconds. So you have to keep applying extra poison damage quickly to get up to the max of 50. And it'll only really last for however long poison is no longer being applied, plus 3 seconds. But that can really, really help out in the long run. This is going to be our new setup. It's not great because I do use a lot of mana off the wand every time I use it, but I'll make do, I think. Hello. Let's not be right next to you. The nice thing about this as well is that the bomb will trigger instantly when the spell ends. And if the spell ends by contacting an enemy, well, that means the bomb is going to trigger right on top of the enemy, which I'm very much okay with. Hello, you two. You both need to die, please, and thank you. You, oh, okay, you as well. Now, we're really starting to feel the pain of the slow trigger on this spell, unfortunately. But, as you can see... Oh, and another thing is quite nice. But as you can see, the raw damage of this spell is great, even with the slowdown. Now, the other thing that I quite like about this is that when the room is finished, all passive threats are destroyed. So the Circle of Swords, even though the one that I didn't destroy, you can destroy them yourself, but they were all gone by the end of it, and we can now get rid of the tree stumps as well. Right, we've got a couple of new things. Hover. Spell hovers in place for 2 seconds after it ends. Now, depending on where I want to put that one, we could put that one right at the front, I guess. Something like this, and we'll see how that affects things. Now it's just going to sit there. So basically, unless it hits something, it won't... unless that actually hits something, it'll just hold in the air for something to hit it. So if you miss by a little bit, something could just move into it. Also, the bombs, likewise, if they miss something, will hold in the air. However, if I don't like that, I could just switch these around, like so. And then only the bomb is going to hold in place. Now, without that, the bomb should go off a lot faster. As you can see, it hasn't even stopped before it starts triggering. So it's quite a useful one. This one isn't going to be useful for us for a little while. This only affects summoned creatures. So max HP on those creatures is plus 50%, and summoned creatures gain a 2.5 HP per second regeneration, which is actually quite powerful with certain summoned creatures. But for now, let's continue on, get some more spells. Hello, you're going to be a bit of a problem. You're only going to die from the explosive effects of my spell, really, since you don't really take poison damage, since you are poison. Also, these butterflies are not... They are solid. I can hit them with my spells, and it's probably a wise move to do, because that over there is a real pain in the backside. This is going to explode, hopefully on some butterflies. No? Okay, well, I've now got much less of a path to move through here. Ow! That hurt a little bit. There we go. Let's grab these, a key and a new spell. Nice. I've got another booby trap at this point. That's actually quite good. Stacking them up can be very useful. And we've got another holdover. We've also got Birth Cord. Wow, okay, we're getting a nice little build up here. So Birth Cord connects to summoned creatures and deals 30 DPS to enemies along the path. That one will be very, very nice in time, but we can now have 2 of these, so our spell is going to hover in place for 4 seconds now instead of 2. Now, the problem with spells like this is they can be... you can end up hurting yourself with them, ultimately. Ouch. So you do need to be a little bit... Oh, wow, that was very bad. I walked straight into it, basically. You can end up causing more problems for yourself than you're fixing. Oh, I very much disapprove. Right now, I'm having to more focus on not being hit by the butterflies than actually killing the enemies, which is a bit of a pain. But they do have a limit, and they will run out in time. There we go. Right, unfortunately, since they hover, they don't get affected with the traps. I absolutely will. I am also going to die very soon if I don't up my game. Let's see what we got over here. Some more coins, okay. And over here, another locked chest. Oh, now that one is a very nice one. 30% chance to automatically cast a spell when using other wands. Not useful for our one wand build right now, sadly. But that one can be really great when you've got, well, obviously multiple ones. Right, want to take you out as quickly as I can. Thankfully, these things all more or less die in one hit, which is brilliant for me. But we are going to summon more, hopefully more of the same thing, since the main damage with these creatures is... You're not going to see it right now because I'm killing them in one hit. But they... Oh, you're a problem. A very big problem. I very much dislike the snakes. This is bad news bears for me. Whoa. Right, let's get rid of you. Ideally now. There we are. The way that these things work is when you do damage to them, it either pulls them to you or you to them. But since I'm killing them in one hit, you're not really seeing that effect. Let's just pop everything. If I die to my own poison at this point, I'm going to be so annoyed with myself. But it is 100% the sort of thing that I would die to. As with most roguelikes, I am a greater threat to me than the monsters are. Sadly, we don't have a key to go into that secret room. Big sad. Gecko Tail increases move speed. Magnify makes spells larger, but it doesn't increase the radius of influence. But this it basically gives the spells a bigger hitbox. Devil's Mask, level 2. All damage crit rate plus 25. I think we're going to go with Devil's... I really like Gecko Tail, though. I'm now at a Fashion Souls choice. I mean, move speed is always good, but 25 extra crit rate is huge, but this looks more funky. I'm not going to say better. Oh, no, let's just go for the Gecko Tail. Look! It says tail. What about this is tail? These are clearly organic mechadendrites. And I approve enormously. Right, we're going to go and try and up my health, since that will... increase it by the ratio of my current health. So let's just take care of that. And I don't know where you're going. Oh, it was so close. So very close. And that trap down there is going to be a bit of a problem. Really? Will you please stop moving? Okay, bad news bears. I am booby-trapping the entire arena. Which is both good and bad at the same time. Let's try and get you while I can. Oh, that was good. That was amazing, actually. This, again, is a double-edged sword, but for now, we're benefiting largely from the single edge of it. Okay, now we've got a Witchwork or a Spell Room. We're definitely going for the Witchwork. This, by the way, can get rid of curses. We don't have any curses, so we don't need to worry about it over much. But this is a very important room for us right now because we've got 3 spells of the same type. There's also other things you can do, but we've got some cash as well that we can use. So first you've got the Fusion Pot. Add 3 identical spells to gain a higher level one. So in this case, I could merge these 3, fuse them, and I'd get the next level up. I believe they can go as high as ++. So 3 levels of a spell. There may be more than that, but I've never been in a position to upgrade it because it's like a merge 3 game. It isn't merge 3 magic bullets to get a plus and then merge another 2 magic bullets into that magic bullet plus to get a magic bullet plus. It's merge 3 magic bullets to get magic bullet plus, and then 3 magic bullet plus to get magic bullet plus. I've not seen if there is a magic bullet plus or any other spell for that matter. This would give us damage of 13 plus a new effect. Units hit by the spell take 50% more damage for 4 seconds. That is quite nice. Not gonna lie. Do we really need that cooldown decrease? I'm not sure. Rerolling spells, however, on spells, like, we can't make use of this, so I may as well spend the 2 to reroll it. We've now got Energy Saver. The magic power cost is reduced by to 60%, but the spell duration and damage are also reduced to 80% each. I want to keep hold of that because I might end up using it for some things. I could reroll Force Cooling. Sure. Really. Okay, Rock and Ball. Now, this one is an interesting one. And this one can also very quickly be your own downfall. Let me just quickly demonstrate this spell. So, right now, that seems fine. It's like a smaller version, less damage, and then the Booby Trap. Actually, I should probably take these out for the sake of the demonstration. But what really changes things is that it leaves a trail. And again, that trail is indiscriminate. Now, that's great if you are using something that you have some sort of immunity to or resistance to. Less great when you don't. So we're probably going to avoid that one and keep with this. However, do I want... Hold on, I mean, I could improve this. Spell damage will be down a little bit, but it does allow me to cast this much more aggressively. Much more aggressively. Damage is now 71 there. Crit chance is 65. But given that I don't intend to use these, I may as well just re-roll them. We'll see what we can get. We might get something really nice. We've got Viscous Crystal. Target's hit move speed is reduced to 60%. The spell projectile speed is 80% for 3 seconds. Penetration, it can go through one object. Ghost Fire, damage 30, crit rate 20%, scatter 30%. Don't care for it. Accuracy, I mean, it's nice. We're not going to be using this one. Parasite. Summon creatures' move and attack speeds are increased, but it will take damage. Honestly, that plus Troll Serum is amazing because it gives you all the benefits of Parasite without any of the negatives of it because it's overwriting them. Let's see. I'm basically right now trying to get something that I can merge with these if I get the chance. Energy Saver isn't that important. Volley. Full salvo +2 for every one additional shootable spell to the MP cost of these spells is multiplied by 84% and gains a bit of extra scatter. Mana box, extra mana on the wand. That is actually a really nice one, but with a wand this small, not useful. Pop, the first summoning. Summon limit is 5. HP is 20. Damage is 6. Let's actually showcase this one a little bit. So Pop is ultimately what we want from here. I guess I could still technically have that, but there's not as much room for it. Let's put everything in here. There we go. And Parasite as well. So at this point, we just create Pop. Pop goes out and Pop does his own thing. Notice how Pop is poisonous because we've got poison ahead of it. If I put poison behind, well, in fact, if I put all of that behind, then the Pops I create are not going to be poisonous. But you can use that to great effect. However, do I really need the energy? No, because I'm only going to have 5 of them if I do this. So now Pop is both poisonous and slowing. You'll only see the effect of one of them. And if you were to re-summon, you will get rid of the last one. So there we go. I've got people... I've noticed that I haven't taken myself off my friends list or gone invisible on Steam. And I've got people saying, hi, I've seen you playing this a lot. Is it any good? Well, they're going to find out as soon as this video goes live, I guess. But there we go. So you could effectively go to a Petnomancer if you really wanted to. With this small of a wand, it isn't the greatest. Unfortunately, you're now going to just have to live with listening to them. I probably should have thought about that before I invoked them. Sorry. But let's keep going. Arcane Explosion. Now, this one's quite a nice one. It's got a good effect. Actually, as much as this does a lot of damage, and this does not, it is probably... I really wish it was a way for me to stop them. Because just changing the wand. You absolutely can do this on the fly, by the way. Set up a wand on the fly and then change it over so you've got multiple effects just existing. And honestly, it's quite a potent way of doing things. But if I were to do this now, that will then explode. Oh, let me get a little bit closer. To just a big explosion. And then that explosion is going to linger for a little bit. However, unlike regular poison on the floor, this is not indiscriminate damage. So I can just launch this as often as I can, as many of them as I can cause to explode, and I don't have to worry about it so much. Which I very, very much like. But it is way less damage, ultimately. Let's go ahead and see what else I can roll. I don't think I'm going to keep Pop. Oh, drat. It broke. Okay, well, if I'd realized that, I probably wouldn't have gotten rid of Pop, if I'm perfectly honest. But let's see how we can go with this little setup for now. Though, to be honest, let's pop this one in there as well. Goodbye, Pop. We're going to go and face the boss of this arena. There we go. Once again, I can't actually stop the... I can't do as much damage like one-shot killing of the trees, but I can still get rid of the trees, the tree stumps, because this is still an AoE explosion. Venomous Spider Egg. Okay, not a bad boss, all things said and done. And also having my spell effects lingering around the place will be good, but I'm not going to be able to easily see where you've put poison for me to deal with, which I'm not as happy about. Let's continue that. I'm effectively destroying the boulders it's creating when it launches them right now. Though from what I can tell, if it drops down nearby me, it will try and just pour poison on the ground. Whereas if I'm a bit further away, it will try and launch a boulder at me. So I definitely need to keep the explosions happening because the boulders are physical things and will get affected by the explosions. There we go. Let's keep this up. We've almost beaten it. It's not a difficult boss, this one, but it is if you walk straight into it like a numpty. This is, you know, the first area, so it's to be expected, really. All right, there we go. And that is it. Done. The poison is still dangerous while it's on the ground. While it's going through its death animation, you can still get hurt. But we get a couple of extra Ancient Bloods for this one. Okay, new wand, Bouquet. Scatter, plus 60 degrees, spells may be died randomly. Or Cluster. Scatter, 5 degrees, full salvo 2. A lot of spell slots here. And honestly, spell slots are more useful for me than anything else, really. I mean, that one was nice, but this has got more mana, better mana regen. Yes, we like this one. We like this one a lot. At this point, not only can I afford to add in a little bit more, so this has got a natural scatter of 5. This reduces the scatter by 30 degrees, so now it doesn't have scattered again. I could add in penetration, but I'm not inclined to. Instead, we can do this. So full salvo will now have the benefit of a in-place explosion plus launching the bombs as well. That is actually marvelous. So if I were to take that out, it would do both. It would explode at my position and launch the balls, but with leg wire. That's really interesting. I guess the full salvo, this is triggered, and then the full salvo on this triggers both of those. That is not what I expected. I expected this to have the regular leg wire explosion, but also launch a booby trap at the same time. This is actually a better combo. This is the best of both worlds. All right, we made it, and we're on towards the second zone. Looking at the time, I'm not sure if I'm going to have time to get through the second zone before I have to wrap this episode up. But again, if by the end of the episode you do want to see a bit more, I'm sure we can work something out. Congratulations on making it through the forest. You're surprisingly talented. I hope you'll also be able to feel this relaxed here. Where are we? It looks like someone lives here. This was once a fortress, and it was the humans' last line of defense against the ancient gods. It has stood for decades since the monster invasion started, and is known as the Fortress of Eternity. As supplies dwindled, the monsters eventually captured the fortress, and still occupy it to this day. What a waste. They don't even use pillows. I agree. That's possibly the most relatable thing you've said so far. Also, I just completely blocked myself from getting into the door I want to go to. We don't have enough gold to make use of the shop right now. Let's try and sneak past. Okay, lots of good things here. That chest can only be accessed by hurting yourself to get in there, which is not exactly on my top list of things to do. I'm just gonna... Oh, that was amazing. Right, we've got some more scallywags over yonder. Just getting close to them has woken them up. Let's just booby trap this entry point. Oh, that's amazing. I love it. Let's wake these ones up. Hello. There we are. And I will do exactly the same. Gonna booby trap that area. Get rid of you. I'm very much liking this spell. I've not built a spell combo like this before in the game. I've played it for, as I've said, 8 hours, but it feels like I've barely scratched the surface of what I can actually do with the game. Okay, well, that was relatively kind of it. I was expecting this to be a much larger palaver to get through. Oh, am I going to get through in time? I did not! And I am being punished! Oh, I deserved that. That was absolutely risking it for the biscuit, and I didn't get a biscuit. Enemies cannot detect you until you launch an attack. How long does that last for? I wonder. Oh, well, I mean, the heart up was helpful, but... let's just do it. 10 damage? I thought it was going to be 5. Oh, well. Let's continue on. I love how the gecko tails are trying to avoid stepping in the goop. And so they get really clustered towards the end. Ah, I forgot about that. Once again, we could try... Oh, no, once again, rather, we don't have a key to try the secret area. Now, the secret areas are more than just potential bonus loot. In many cases, they have people that you can unlock, and we'll go back to your camp. We haven't seen the camp yet, so I will discuss that more when we get to it. But for now, just know that it's very much in your best interest to unlock that. How about no? Also, how about no? There we go. Oh, what else are we going to get? Another one? Oh, thank goodness the explosion hit all of them. That was grand, actually. Oh, you're being blocked. Saved. With your very long neck. Really? There you go. Hi. There we are. And our reward is positioned... it's not actually the worst place. We can definitely still grab it. Worth trying to break into everything, especially since I A, lack keys, and B, lack money to do the things I want. Thankfully, the game doesn't troll you by dropping stuff in the pit. However, without the ability to cross pits, there are some things you may miss. Some maps prioritize being able to get across the pits. Right, let's get rid of the spawners first. Quick as we can. And trying to avoid all of the worst stuff coming our way. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. No, no hugs. Normally, I'm all for spider hugs, but not today. Right, let's get rid of you. Another thing I very much enjoy about this game is traps affect monsters as well. Alright, let's get rid of that as quickly as I can. And then you. Because that doesn't happen in every game. So it is something I like to praise when I see it. There we go. Though it does pose the requirement of having much better monster AI, otherwise they kind of do stupid stuff. And there is one thing that definitely... this is actually pointed out by Leafin in the Daffodil. Spiders get stuck in their own webs. And I feel that maybe they shouldn't. I feel that maybe spiders would know how to navigate their webs properly without getting stuck in them. But here we are. This is the reality that we've got. Right, let's go and grab you. Okay. All damage crit rate, 20% chance to generate a shield around you whenever you kill an enemy. Now, if that was whenever you hit an enemy, that would be great. 11% dodge attacks. This is about the only way you can dodge. There's no dodge roll, there's no iframes. So having an 11% chance to not take damage from an attack is probably less useful in just generally dodging bullets and more useful in area attacks where there's no delay in how quickly you're taking that damage. Well, there's a very slight one, but it's kind of built into the spell. It's not because of iframes or anything like that. So being able to kind of just interrupt, get a couple of ticks where you're not taking damage where otherwise you would have, I will take Lucky Clover, even over the extra crit rate. 33 gold, definitely shop-worthy. Okay, and we might even be able to increase that a little bit more. Thank you very much, shop owner, for leaving all of this money just lying around for me to collect. There we are. Very kind of you indeed. Very kind. And we'll take that out as well. Okay, so we've got keys, we've got a new wand, we've got a mimic cube, very useful. We've got an on-sale shield, some health. Half my money for that, though. Let's have a look at what else we could do. So spell penetration, not going for that. Mr. K's hand. This is another summon, but it doesn't have a limit. Now this one becomes very attractive. Does only 9 damage, but it can pretty much do that damage across the room, and it'll last for 20 seconds. The hold will give us a little bit extra on that, an extra 5th if I put both of them in there. But at that point, we could do a lot of our damage with the birth cord. Troll Serum wouldn't really help, other than just making it a little bit more survivable against enemy attacks. We've also got the Mimic Cube. Imitates the next spell up to level 1 effect. Now, if I put that in front of the leg wire, then I possibly have the effect of 2 leg wires in a row. But let's have a look at this wand first. Oh, multi-shot. 2-headed dragon. Fire interval is 0.3, cooldown is 0.4. It's got comparable mana regen, but a bit less in terms of total MP. It does have natural low scatter, but for 50% extra cost, we would double the spells. Spell becomes multiple shots of 2 times. That is way expensive then. How many spell slots? We would lose 1 spell slot. I could make this work. Well, actually, we'd lose 2 spell slots because that's dedicated. I wouldn't be able to have one of these in there. It would also mean that I couldn't have this. We're buying this, and I'm buying health. And it pains me, but it's what I've done. It's the choice I've made. I could have gone for the shield, but we did not. Now, let me just demonstrate. First, we're going to take these out just to show how this works. So, they can attack pretty much from across the room. And as long as I can keep casting it, they will just keep existing. But they will run out in 20 seconds. Now, having Troll Serum here doesn't help, but having Parasite does, because it increases the attack speed. But it will die a lot faster. Having both of these together helps. So, doing something like this means that it is now losing 2 health a second, but gaining 2.5. It'll still run out in 20 seconds, but then parasites will hatch. So let's just stack the room a bit. And wait for them to start popping. There we go. And the parasites just charge in and do direct damage. As far as I'm aware, the parasites don't really slow down. Well, I mean, they slow down rather, but they don't have the... Well, maybe the parasites themselves have the effect of Troll Serum. So even if they did have the parasite loss of health, it still wouldn't matter. But where this becomes kind of broken is if I do something like this. And then I just drag the birth cord over them as well. I think this might be our new setup. Crit rate is increased, which is nice. I could still have that, though. And then I can deploy them across the room. It isn't bad. Damage is still 10. And just having lots of these doing that. And then I just move around and try and maximize the damage I'm inflicting with the birth cords. Is probably the play to make. It's going to be loud, of course, but sometimes you just have to sacrifice. Is there anything else I would like to play around with? I like having creatures slowed. That's very useful for me. I mean, the thing is, we've got 2 spells that I could cast here. I'm kind of wasting that a little bit. If I could have Booby Trap as well. Let's shimmy everything across. Actually, we'll go with the explosions, too. An explosive birth for the tentacles, but lots of mana use. So that takes an extra 9, then. That was helping a lot. 30 and 9, whereas this would be 18 and 5.4. Yeah, I don't think we can quite afford it. So I think we're going to go with this for now. At least until we get a much better wand in terms of the overall output that we can get of mana regen. Right, do we want new spells or do we want more money? We just spent all our money, but I would actually like new spells more than anything. Oh, I dislike these enemies in particular. Because they are rather awkward in trying to get with this particular strategy of the birth cords. Let's see what we can do. They also, the upgraded versions leave a bullet trail all over the place, which is just annoying. But that actually worked out quite well. We no longer have an easy way of getting things like tree stumps. Sad to say. Oh, they do explode after a while, it seems. Alright, what did we get? Another birth cord. I don't think you can double those up, sadly. But that would be kind of cool. Ooh, energy saver. What if I did put that in there? It's now down to 10 from 18. Let's have a watch of how much more I can put down before I run out of mana completely. That's quite a decent amount. But I think having the distance, the projection is more important. And again, I really do like having the occasional slows happening. The slows and the poison matter, especially because it gets passed down to the parasites that are spawned. Right, out of this, we want a relic, I think. Okay, let's start deploying you everywhere. That little doggo there, explosive doggo, is, well, you know, an explosive doggo, so it's inherently dangerous. Right, that chalice there, I destroyed it a little bit fast that you might not have realized what was happening. But there was a piece of crockery but inside all of the creatures there. That piece of crockery was basically turning this arena into a bullet hell. Also, I just realized my legs do damage. That is amazing. Or maybe it's the umbilical cords, I don't know. But the longer that exists, the harder it gets. So killing it quickly is super important. And it gets smaller rather than just dying. So, you know, it's a reasonably tough one. Lightning Crown. Deal 35 damage to all enemies when taking damage. I'm not going to bank on taking damage if I can avoid it. I know I've got the eyes, but it's mostly for the way it looked. Titanic Spalder. More HP, bigger size, less recall. Don't really struggle with recall. Or better NP regen. Definitely worth grabbing that one. Look at my cool cloak. Very cool. Do we have things that I would like to forge? Yes, actually. I've got a couple of things that we might be able to work with. So let's give this a try. Also, this is another opportunity now for me to make use of the which work? Since the last one broke. Try and get rid of all of those. There we are. Also, there's this. Now, this one is an interesting one. Fuse any 4 spells into a higher level spell. That's a potential one, but I really would like to just try and get the 3 that I want. So I'm going to try and reroll that. There we go. That's actually perfect. Right, so let's upgrade the birth cord. This will now do twice as much damage. Yes, please, indeed, thank you. Let's pop that back down there. Are there other things that I can reroll? Possibly. Let's get rid of that. Really? Okay. I wouldn't mind if I could generate another cell there. So let's see. Pop. I would love it. Let's just have a quick look at something. How would this work? Would I be able to summon 2 of them? Now, well, I guess so. Let's just go ahead. Our little friends are now going to wander around, but it does take a lot of mana to cast this spell now. But we have a lot more damage output as a consequence, and they will wander around and do things. I will pop the last one. Oh, when they pop, they create... Oh, that's actually quite good. Alright. Well, that is worth it to me. But now I very much need to get an extra energy saver. So let's start rolling these. Really, really? Ghost Snake, don't need it. And I don't have enough money to do the rest. Okay, well, that's unfortunate. Quite unfortunate. But just as a demonstration then, I can cast 2 of these spells before I have to stop. But having mobile NPCs helping me out is quite huge. Look at the damage that we're doing there. I think this is not a bad little pet build, honestly. I really would like to merge these 2. But I've got a bunch of spells up there that I don't care for. So let's go ahead and merge them. The spells that I don't care for, well, as much as I would like to see if I could get those to double up. Requires sing level and rarity. Oh, I see. Since those are rare, I can't merge them. I hadn't realized that. Okay, never mind. I'll bear that in mind in the future. Alright, let's go on and take on an elite. I dislike this elite probably more than most of the other bosses. This one can be hard because it's a fast one. That said, with the birth cords, hopefully I can get them into a position where they're going to do some decent damage to it. Took a little bit of damage myself there. Shame, but there we are. It is what it is. Let's get some more. Let's continue to cast this spell as often as I can, even though it does pop my, well, it pops my pops. Fair enough. They do then create parasites, so that helps out. The main thing is getting more tentacles in play. That is not a sentence I was expecting to say today. Right, what do we get? Ooh, Guardian Wand. Now, I can't use this, but I'll demonstrate what it does. I no longer do anything. My wand does it all by itself. When you've got 2 wands, the Guardian Wand is amazing. Wand MP regen is only 40% normal, but the attached wand will fight for you autonomously. It is, as you can imagine, quite grand. Tracking. Spell projectile speed +1, spell duration +1, spells now follow your cursor. Huh. Let's see how that would work. Whee! Beyond that, I don't think it really does anything, but that could be a very, very good wand in particular builds, I would say. And yes, although we've lost the viscous crystal, I feel that this is worth it. That being said, I get 2 casts out of this at full power, then a 3rd reasonably soon after. What happens if I just switch this out? Do I still get 2 casts? I do still get... No, I only get 1 cast. This is a very expensive one now. Just those 2 together, that's 71. Yeah. Let's drop that back down. Well worth just having these right now, I think. Also, I'm just going to go ahead and use this. They can't see me anymore. No, that is bad news, Bear. It doesn't need to be able to see me when they attack like that. Okay. Well, this is terrible. Lasers. Bloody eyeball lasers. Didn't realize I was suddenly playing Terraria. But here we are. Well, they've already done a decent chunk of damage to me, and it's all now based on me having my minions get out there and cross the beams a bit. Thank goodness I don't need to be anywhere near them for them to take damage. This is why I like Petnomancer builds. They will merge, these eyeballs. They can become a lot stronger than you're currently seeing if you allow a bunch of them to converge. It can be quite a problem. Especially when they spawn together like that. But as long as I keep the tentacles out of the way, the pops could just go out there and get popped. But the tentacles, if I can keep them safe and sound over here, they should be able to do so much damage. Also, you can kind of use your pets as a mobile wall. Or immobile wall in the case of the tentacles, frankly. Right, that is now a free radical. Oh, never mind. It was trying to join up. But failed. We're just going to exist over here for now. Ah, it's the parasites that are exploding and giving poison. Alright. Grab a little bit of everything. Anything more around here? We've got a replication potion. Copy the HP recovery shield, coins, and keys on the ground in the current room. Okay, that was very much worth using at some later stage. Right, okay, let's start taking you guys out as quickly as we can. Need those birth cords everywhere, especially down here right now. There we are. With 60 HP of damage per second, if I can get the birth cords over them, this is huge. I want to say umbilical, but I know that's not what it's called in the game, so I'm trying to correct myself, but I'm pretty sure that's what it means, given the look of it. Let's try and maximize that. Yeah, that was actually quite good. Right. Display unit HP. Closer observation. Hunter's Pendant. Grant better sight distance or Seed of Greed. We're going to take Seed of Greed. The next time I see a HP recovery item, I will use my my potion to try and maximize what we're getting back from it. Can I get that? Rid of that? There we go. Coins. Nice. Right. New spells. And also fire. Not the best for me. Oh, why? Didn't see that coming. That was on me, I guess. Right, thankfully, once again, I can use my my summonlings as a shield against an awful lot of damage. Right, let's take those out. Thank you. Took them out very quickly. Right, okay. We've now got the big boy problems. There we go. That should pop them all. Okay, not too bad. Not terrible anyway. I keep doing damage to myself, though, with the parasite explosions. I don't pay enough attention to them. Ooh. Okay, the Silent Flower. Wand MP regen plus 3 a second. That's big. Where would I want to put that? What can I sacrifice for it? What's the wand? It's now 19 a second. As much as I no longer have the duration scale down, the mana scale down, I think this may be better for me. The damage is back up, so the damage is now 14, the damage is 9. If I put that back down there, it's 11 and 7, but I can cast so many more of them. The regen is really killing me. It's really killing me. Alright, we're going to go to a coin room, and hopefully we're not going to die. But no promises. Right, okay. The mobs are killing themselves, which I am A-okay with. Ouch. I am down to 1 HP. I disapprove. Though looking at the time, this would actually be the perfect time for me to wrap up the episode, so maybe this is just fate giving me a helping hand. Let's try and not throw the game, though. And I'm okay if it just works out that way. Far less okay trying to force it to be that. And okay, not too bad. I still haven't seen any growth items, though. Oh, stay away from those bloody parasites if I can. I obviously can't open that chest. It would kill me. Let's grab you. Oh, well. You know what? Sure. Tonk. Pop that? Yes, I can. Alright. 44 gold. 1 HP. Going for the max HP will help. So, okay, this is going to get nasty. Fast. Ah! As long as I look where focus on defense is what I was about to say. And then I got killed by a meaty chunk from below. Rude. But we are at the hour mark, so honestly, it's probably the best time. It looks like our hero is already dead. Rude. But why did he die here? He's still breathing. Weird. I can't see any wounds on his body. He was probably scared to death. I mean, looking at those faces, maybe. Who are you two? Don't tell me you were thinking of taking advantage of me while I was sleeping. Take advantage of you? Are you out of your mind? Hero, it's great that you're okay. And there we go. This is the camp. There are various things that we can do here. You know what? To wrap up the episode, let's just check out some of those various things. Hello. Hero, if you ever need help to defeat an ancient god, just let me know and I'll help you. Aw, that's so nice of you. But I can't possibly ask you to do that. This is my duty. My teacher asked us to help the one who pulls out the magic wand. If you find crystals during your adventures, I can help you become stronger. I think I just picked some up earlier, actually. Excellent. These crystals are exactly what I was talking about. Okay, so this is the meta progress. We can use crystals. And the first thing, for one crystal, it's basically telling you, hey, get this first. And then it goes up to 150. And it gets much more expensive over time. But wands are probably the single most important thing you can get. Having multiple wands, like you saw, there were passive spells. I could have the wands fight for me. Multiplying your firepower with each one. You can increase the backpack size, you can increase the amount of coins you get, you can increase your maximum HP if you particularly want to. Also, you can use your ancient souls, and this is very Hades-like, to increase the things that you can spend crystals on and get access to different things that you can upgrade. Do you know? It was once prophesied that the person who pulls out the magic wand from here is the hero who will save the world. Oh, I just found out. I wonder if the prophecy will still come true if I make the person who pulled out the magic wand disappear. It's nice to meet you too. Right, we've got a campfire. I don't think you can interact with that, but you can interact with the mirror. Okay. Oh, my lord. I love the text. God damn it. And you can change to this one. I think those are the only ones. Default. Okay, so that is all that is to show right now. There are 3 regions in the game that we can get to, and many different types of elites, many different types of bosses, and a staggering amount of wand combinations and spells that you can get. The wands themselves, there's a frankly silly amount of wand variants, and then you've also got the spells to boot. But if you want to see a little bit more about this game, do let me know. I would be happy to take you on a couple more runs and see if we can't find a few other interesting synergies between the wands and indeed the spells themselves. But that is going to be it from me and from Magicraft for this first taste. Once again, thank you very much for joining me. I hope you had fun, and I hope to see you in the next. But until then, do take care.